said, deer, deer, deer.
Miguel! Woo! Could you think about how much they would pay monthly?
I would say probably $1,000. Yep. It was Dia de Muertos.
Dia de los Muertos, right? Here, Mr. Gordon Ramsay, right? Welcome back to Generic Expats. Today we focus on the accommodation aspect of being an expat in Mazatlan, Sinaloa. I was fortunate enough to have 3 guests come on and give information about both short-term and long-term rental, as well as purchasing property in 2 different regions in Mazatlan.
Paquito Spanish.
Yeah. Okay, here I am in Sabalo. We are in Sabalo country
Yeah.
in Mazatlan, and I have a special guest with me here today. Please introduce yourself, your name, age, where you're from.
Alright guys, my name is Miguel Mayorquin. I'm 34 years old. I'm here from Mazatlan. I've been my whole life here, and like the reason that we are here in this place is because I want to show you what I'm doing here in town. I have different places. I manage different apartments, houses in town.
How many do you manage in total?
I have between 30 to 35 places total.
So you're a good person to contact if people are looking for a place to stay?
Exactly. Let me tell you something, guys. The reason that I started with this business is because I started first of all with a red truck. Auriga is a taxi that has a space for 8 people. And of course, I've been working, and people been asking me for many years, like let's say, like we became good friends, and they've been asking me for places, and I say, well, why not? I will find you a place, and I started for that reason. So.
And you also do tours in the Arriega, right? In your red truck?
Yes, I'm doing city tours. Actually, for the cruise ships or tours for the people that stays in resorts here in town.
Excellent, okay. And do you have approximate prices for these customers that will be looking for tours?
Well, in my tours, let's say for a whole day city tour, the cost is between $100 to $180 for the whole day, and I have a space for 8 people.
8 people, 280. Okay, great, good information. Now, let's focus in on this property that we are looking at today. This property is owned by your friend, right?
Yes, one of my friends owned this apartment, and he asked me to promote this place. That's why we are here right now, and we are going to give you some information about this place.
So talking about the place and its cost, how much would it cost per month short-term rental, and how much would it cost long-term?
Okay, for a short term, the price of this condo is $1,700 US, but if you rent it for a 6-month lease or 1-year lease, the price it will be $1,500 US, even let's say $1,300 US. All depends on the agreement with the owner.
And you would probably say this area of Mazatlan is one of the nicest to stay in the entire city, wouldn't you say?
Yes, of course. Since we are in a great location, Sabalo country, we are close walking distance from the beach. We are walking distance from the best restaurants in towns, drugstores, from the big markets like Walmart, like Soriana, like Sam's Club.
One thing that many people need to know when renting a place is in the price that you gave us, $1,500 and $1,700. Does that include the utilities, the gas, electricity, water? How is that put into the price?
Well, in most of the places that I manage here, like for example in this unit, everything, all the utilities are included except electricity. That's the only bill that you have to cover.
Okay, so the water is paid for, the internet,
maintenance, and what else?
Is there a cleaner included in the price?
No,
okay.
the cleaner is not included. So,
okay.
so yeah, like I say, water, internet and maintenance included, except electricity.
So electricity is the part that you have to pay monthly besides the $1,500 and $1,700.
That's right.
Excellent. Wow.
If you are coming to Mazatlan and you are looking for places for rent, even for short term or long term, just give me a phone call. I have places from $300 to like $2,000.
300 and up. So basically, I'll have his information in the down below, and please contact him for all the services he has here. Well, thank you so much for the information.
My pleasure.
Miguel, thank you so much, our Mazatleco friend here. So, I am here sitting with a new friend that I made on a Facebook group actually, and let's hear from him where he's from and where he's living now.
Hi, my name is Noah. I've been in Mazatlan for 14 years. I'm originally from Michigan, and I came down here on vacation and never left.
Pretty interesting story. I think it happens to a lot of people, right?
Yeah, you know, I met that special someone.
Yeah, when that happens, you keep going with it. We are now in your house, and where is your house located?
My house is in Central, about 5 blocks from the Plaza Machado. It's not like historic Central, but it's just outside the historic zone.
So what do you think about living in this area of the city?
Well, I feel like this area is like a Mexican neighborhood. I have a few American-Canadian neighbors. It's quiet, the streets are wide, and the prices are a bit lower than what you would pay for in the zone historic.
Right, okay. So speaking of prices, what did you pay for this place? Because you bought it, right?
Yeah, I bought it.
What did you pay for it, and what are you're trying to sell it now also, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to
So
sell it.
what did you pay for it at the beginning and when you bought it, and what are you selling it for now?
So, about 8 years ago, I paid $140,000 US, and right now I have it on the market for $325,000.
Okay, yeah, so it increased in value quite a bit, but everything did in the past 10 years, right?
Yeah, everything did it. Yeah, everything has it. And I think, you know, Mazatlan is expanding,
Yeah.
and it's just so much growth.
It's becoming an expat hotspot also, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's just insane. So many people are here.
Right. So now, if someone were to rent a place like this one, could you think about how much they would pay monthly?
I would say probably $1,000.
Okay, because there's like 5 bedrooms, right?
5 bedrooms, yeah. I would say $1,000, maybe a bit more. I mean, if I put this on Airbnb, I would probably have it rented out for in between $1,000 or $1,500.
1,000 and 15. Okay, yeah, it's a pretty big house. I just went through it and I was like, wow, this is a nice place.
That's one of the issues. I mean, we have a big family, but the room we're sitting in now, I've never sat in, and the room behind us, I've never sat in, and we kind of want to downsize. My kids the 2 big ones are off to college soon, and I drive my kids to private school every day, and it's just insane.
So speaking of that, you want to move, and where are you thinking of moving within Mazatlan?
Marina Mazatlan, where they have private subdivisions with just more access for my kids to go outside and play. You know, pool, gyms, basketball courts, tennis courts.
And you wouldn't have to drive so far every day for school, right?
Well, I still have to drive, but not as much.
Yeah,
Not as much.
A little bit less. So speaking of living in the downtown, the centro, what are the benefits, what are the advantages and disadvantages of living in this area?
So I think like the disadvantages, not in like my neighborhood in particular, because we have wide streets, but parking. There's no parking. I will drive for 45 minutes to find a parking spot. But besides that, I think it's great. I mean,
You won't have that problem in the marina, right?
no, because I'll have a garage, right?
Oh, okay.
But advantages is I'm 10 minutes from the beach. In this neighborhood, we got amazing vegan restaurants and microbreweries and coffee shops. And it's walking. It's a walking town. I don't have to, if I want to go somewhere, here. I don't have to drive. I'll just walk, which I really like.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm having a walkable area. The marina is quite a bit more expanded, right? It's very big.
I consider it more Americanized, where, you know, there isn't a lot of grocery stores or tiendas or fruterias. You go to Walmart. and buy your food. But I promise you, my wife will not let me do that. She's gonna make me drive all the way to Central, to the Mercado, to buy the vegetables.
Well, I've been told that's the best place to get.
Well, yeah, and my wife refuses to eat anything frozen or any produce that comes from like Walmart.
Wow, nothing frozen.
No, nothing frozen.
You're eating fresh every day. That's Subway style, right?
Yeah, every single day, every single day.
Okay, and so tell us about how you found this place when you first bought it. How did you find the house? Did you look on a certain website or app or group, Facebook group, or?
You know, I kind of just drove around, and I walked the city and looked for sale signs. I had a realtor, and you know, she pointed me in the right direction.
Did she find it for you, or did you find it?
I found this place. Oh, okay. I found this place, and we contacted the owners. Actually, haven't lived in this house in 8 years. They're from Switzerland, and so they were actually in Switzerland at the time. And so
you bought it from expats?
I bought it from a European, yeah.
Europeans. Do you think it's easier to buy from expats instead of buying from locals?
Well, I guess it depends, because my wife's Mexican, so all the paperwork went through her.
Right.
And so we had no trust, which saved us a bit of money, and it was a bit less hassle instead of having me buy the house where it would be just multiple steps.
Right.
And they're not a bad thing. I mean, they have...
It's just a lot smoother with the local wife,
you know, pesos to pesos, Mexican bank account to Mexican bank account.
Yeah, true. Okay, and well, I really appreciate your time and for all of the information.
Yeah, no problem.
Appreciate it, Noah. Thank you, Noah, and thank you for showing us your place and giving us your time.
All right.
So here I am with my boy here, Mr. Deer.
Deer, hola.
We are at his place, which is called
Real Villas.
Real Villas. Yep. This is like a hotel, but it has like apartment style accommodation type of thing.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So you have
a kitchenette and anything you want to do, you know, cooking wise. And we always go out and go to the Mega or the Sorianas and get some food, and then we just kind of cook it up ourselves.
Right. Okay, so we're on your balcony right now. Right, so I'll show off the balcony here. And let's walk around your apartment and you can show me the place. So we kind of back walking it.
Okay, hopefully there's nothing in the way.
Yeah, your living room. Darren's got his Pacifico in hand, keeping hydrated on a hot day. What are you normally paying for this property here?
So it's $700 a week. So I had 30 weeks. And I paid $3,400 for those 30 weeks, and then we just paid a maintenance fee of $700. It's totally went up as improvements.
And then now that this is being turned into
it's gonna be turned into a hotel from what I hear. They haven't talked to me on it, so I gotta.
It's being turned into a hotel, and maybe the rates will be a bit higher now. That's
correct.
Yeah. Okay. So for $700 for 1 week, $100 a day is very good price.
It's very good price down here.
For a big apartment like this, yeah, absolutely great. Now it's time to give Mazatlan an accommodation rating based on these three aspects that we covered in the video: short-term, long-term rentals, and purchasing property. Starting with the short-term accommodation that we saw in Darren's video talking about the Royal Villas Resort. This was about $100 per day, which we decided was quite a good price for a place on the beach inside of a resort property. Moving on to the longer-term rentals. At Miguel's property, we found that if you rent for 6 months or more, the price is around $1,500 per month, which is about half the price that we saw in the Royal Villas videos. Now, taking all of these prices and locations in this beachside city and maybe comparing them to Monterey in the first series of generic expats, we're going to see that in Monterey, the price of an apartment in the middle of a nicer region of the city is about $1,000, whereas it was about $1,500 here in Mazatlan, renting longer term on the beach. Finally, moving on to purchasing a property, we saw how Noah's house was going to look like and cost at around $325,000. Thinking about Noah's apartment, you probably would want to stay there if you're an expat looking for the beach, whereas if you like hiking and want to stay in a larger industrial type of city like Monterey, Apodaca is that property was cheaper but unfinished. With all of these things being considered, I think Mazatlan deserves a rather high rating based upon being a beautiful beach city but not being super overpriced. I'm going to give Mazatlan a 9 out of 10 on the Generics Accommodation rating.